James Wade. I'm with District 3 Construction. I was the project engineer for the Bascule Bridge Rehabilitation Project in Lorain County on Route 6.
My name is Luke Wysocki. I'm with ODOT District 3 in the construction department, and my role on this project was area engineer.
My name is Matt English. I'm an engineer and project manager for the Ruhlin Company.
My name is Ben Neal with the Ruhlin Company. I was a superintendent for the project.
So project description was rehabilitation of the US 6 Bascule Bridge over the Black River in City of Lorain.
The need for the project was to strengthen the structure, to increase load capacity in the approach spans and in the movable span, and also to replace the existing electrical and mechanical equipment.
The original operating equipment was 80 years old, been in service since 1939. Project also included some structural steel replacement and strengthening, along with approach span overlays, masonry rehabilitation work, and then also some upgrades in the control towers, such as new heaters and lighting.
So work began in April of 2018. We were substantially complete in September of 2020. Bid amount was $26 million, and throughout the project, we've added about $2 million to that cost, right around $28 million.
Well, I was actually on another movable bridge in Port Clinton, Ohio at the time when this one was bid and awarded. Some people are quite scared of anything that moves. I mean, it's hard enough to build a bridge that does not move, so you can imagine the complexity when your bridge has to also move.
There's not too many of these in the state or that are state owned, so naturally excited to be able to have that opportunity to come move to this project.
All right, so we're in the west tower in the machine room. So as we're looking here, we're standing behind the primary reducer, driven by 250 horsepower motors, outputs to a secondary reducer, and then beyond each wall is a rack and pinion which drives the bridge and lifts it. So we're in the west pit, just beneath the counterweight, and this is the spot where the temporary operating system was installed. It installed at the bottom where that pin is, and it had a hydraulic cylinder that was 26 feet collapsed that reached up to operate the bridge while the permanent mechanical and electrical system was replaced. So we're here on the Trunnion Level. The bells you hear in the background are the traffic warning, letting pedestrians and vehicular traffic know the bridge is about to raise. The operator upstairs has lowered the traffic gates, making sure everybody's off the bridge and beginning her initiation for the bridge lift. Now, as you can see, the bridge is almost up. There it is. We are at our final stopping position. The bridge is fully raised at this point. So we're here in the control room. This is a brand new control center for the operators that man the bridge. As part of the upgrade, ODOT has outfitted the bridge with 14 new cameras, improving the operator's visibility.
It was my first experience with formal partnering and a dispute resolution advisor. Both of those were new to me, but when I came on, the project felt different.
Ray Bensavango, who used to work out of District 12 and is now with QCS, was chosen as the partnering facilitator. We had 2 formal meetings with him in 2018 and 2019. The biggest takeaway from me with Ray, I've never been involved in a project this large, so he suggested that I start an RFI log and a submittal log, which in the end was probably one of the best things I could have done on this project.
Without the log, it's real easy for something that seems so minor to get lost.
In a job like this with so many disciplines, mechanical, machinery, structural steel, concrete, electrical, masonry, there's so many issues that come up, and having a RFI log and a key to quick resolution of RFIs is key to having a good partnering approach and solving the problems as they come up.
Ruhlin was able to find that building with the City of Lorain, large building close to the project. We were able to get offices for both ODOT, HDR, and Ruhlin. And even at one time, their painting subcontractor was in there as well. So that just created a great atmosphere for daily communication. You know, we knew we would need to have a number of project-specific goals to keep things moving, resolve issues, ensure that the locals were involved and that communication flowed back and forth with the City of Lorain and others in the area, because we knew we were going to be dealing with closures of the bridge, stuff that impacts the public quite a bit.
Our involvement with the Coast Guard was daily almost at some points. The Coast Guard has always been willing to listen to our ideas and maybe work around something that they don't necessarily like, but understand that it's for the benefit of the project.
I was in charge of trying to make sure the schedule met the Coast Guard restrictions and the overall project finish dates. The bridge was obviously not operational during paint, and that deadline to open the bridge in time for the shipping season was weighing heavily on us. Always tried to negotiate call ahead times, because if we're working out on the span itself, guys, equipment underneath in the channel, it's nice to know that you have 4 hours to clear out.
The City of Lorain, the Port Authority, and a couple of adjacent projects, we had a lot of communication with them and how our maintenance and traffic impacted them. The first project was a Broadway Avenue streetscape project, and that was going on as we had some of our maintenance and traffic phases in place. And then the second project was the rehabilitation of the Broadway Hotel. And it just came down to having them involved early on, understanding their needs, and then trying to see what we could do to help them out and keep our project moving at the same time.
The Buy America issue did have an effect on the schedule. It actually extended the schedule, I think, by about 6 months.
The machinery and motor brakes normally in the past have been granted waivers by federal highways because they're not made domestically, but no waivers have been granted since 2016.
There was 3 specific manufacturers that were in the contract plans, and it turned out none of them were able to produce the motor and machinery brakes domestically. So one of the suppliers that was actually in the plans, Ruhlin was able to reach out to them, learned that they could domestically produce them.
And through talking with the designer and with the contractor, we were able to find a manufacturer, Amtech, that was able to custom make the brakes for us and deliver them to us with domestic parts.
There was a premium involved, but they were able to make the necessary changes and do everything domestically, which was in itself quite a feat. Very good teamwork as far as making the schedule work, with knowing that was a delay that we had to deal with. The racks themselves were definitely a challenge. We did find that the holes did not match the existing drawings, so we had brand new racks with holes and existing holes that did not line up. It was almost design-build-esque, and a lot of these problems that arose, with the racks being one of them, one of the first ones. And then that went into all the machinery installation. It was all merging brand new components made out of state in Alabama, driven up here to incorporate into a structure that was built 80 years ago. A lot of things change over 80 years. A lot of maintenance has been done. A lot of things you do not know happened, and you don't find out until you tear out the existing stuff and start trying to put in the new stuff.
A good example of a project first challenge that we overcame was, again, this was early in the project, 2018. We encountered some issues where we realized the hydro demolition wasn't going to work, and we were going to have to change the method of repair. Well, this had an impact on the sequence of operations for the project, and that rolled into the structural steel painting. Originally, the contractor had set up to paint the approach spans and one of the sidewalks, curb railing, and pedestrian railing all at the same time. When we ran into this issue with the hydro demolition on the sidewalk, it kind of delayed that work, pushed that back, but the painting had to proceed. Obviously, you have a very limited season and window to complete structural steel painting in Ohio, especially northern Ohio here close to Lake Erie.
What worked great was everybody kept working, kept that painting happening so that we didn't have a delay to the project, and naturally, at the end of, we'll call it a dispute, ODOT was willing to step across that fence and see that, okay, there is an impact. Where can we meet in the middle? Everybody worked really well together to settle that matter, which could have ended up in a major claim.
My definition of partnering, probably first and foremost one word, and that's communication.
We had over 200 RFIs. We also ended up with about 7 early written notices. Nothing got past a step 1 throughout the project, and that's just because we just kept communicating.
Partnering communication for this project was key for us hitting the dates and getting the job done on time. Sometimes we needed real-time answers on certain things. We're in the middle of a machinery install. So we find something that isn't per plan, that is a surprise, that wasn't supposed to be there, and that had a huge effect on timing of certain things, because there's a sequence to machinery installation. You can't do the last step first no matter how hard you try. Without that communication, we would have never been able to do this job in a timely manner.
We're always looking from our side of the fence, and ODOT as an owner is typically looking from their side of the fence. And this was just a little bit unique in the fact that both of us were willing to sit back and maybe stand on the other side of the fence.